Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's Pauline Tomlin, Insightful Angel here. And as you can see, I'm dressed for my run, though increasingly these days it's more like a geriatric shuffle, but at least I'm out, I'm in the fresh air, and I'm doing it, and I'm doing it regularly. So hello to all you 13, 14, 15-year-olds, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, 19, 20, and 21-year-olds of Niger, West Africa, the wider African continent, and I know one of these days the rest of the world. I hope these missives are useful to you and that this is advice that's going to take you through life and help you. So what I want to say today is, and what one of the things that I had to learn throughout my life, and that your parents, your teachers, your aunts, your uncles, and your wider family network never ever tell you this, is that convention is the mother of discontent. As far as I'm concerned, when you stick to convention, when you follow the rules, then more often than not, you end up with a life that is miserable and very contained. Now, if that's what you want and that suits you, then that's fine. But if you're like me and you're someone who strives for greatness and you strive to serve the world in a much, much bigger way, then convention is, as I say, the mother of your discontent. No one who ever did anything fantastically great was conventional. Invariably, the heroes and heroines that we look up to these days, they stepped out of the mold, they stepped out of the box, they went against what society often deemed was the right and productive thing to do. So your Awolowos, your Femi Kutis, Femi's mother, your Harriet Tubmans, your Shaka Zulus, your Henry Fords, they didn't do the things that are conventional. And if you strive to greatness, if you strive to be someone who contributes in a big way to your culture, to your society, to life in general, then what I'm telling you here today is that convention is something that you're going to have to step out of. And that means you're going to feel very uncomfortable, because when we feel uncomfortable, invariably we have to come up with solutions to solve that discomfort. We have to come up with ideas that actually move us forward and take us away from that feeling. It's that feeling of discomfort that is grist to the mill that actually makes you want to strive forward and do something about it. And so convention is going to stifle all of that. It's going to stifle your creativity, and it's going to stop you pushing forward, discovering who you are, what your gifts are, and what your contribution is. I'm talking to you about this because I was quite saddened this week when I was talking to some of our children about relationships. We were looking at Shakespeare, and we were looking at the relationships in Much Ado About Nothing. And one of my pupils was very, very rigid and very, very stuck in the idea that certain things couldn't happen within relationships, that the man had to be taller than the woman, and that the man always had to be older than the woman, etc. And when I challenged that person as to why they thought, what I realised was that at even such a tender age, they had been completely convinced and programmed by stereotypes and by convention and by rules that society had given them. And I thought that was quite sad, because I felt that actually what that does is stifle any creativity in that person and any, quite a lot of perhaps individuality. And yes, it does, sorry, got an itch in my ear. It does take bravery. It does take bravery to step outside. I'm not saying it's right for everyone, but I'm saying if you're one of these people that has that burning in your heart that you want to make a difference, that you want to, whether it is that you want to be the best aeronautical engineer that there is, or you want to be a marine biologist and maybe everyone else in your family has been lawyers, or you want to be a great novelist, or whatever it is you want to do, even if it's not greatness, even if you just want to be, a gardener and everyone else wants you to be something that's really academic. It means that you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone, and it means you're going to have to buck convention. Now, I'm not saying that rules of society are all bad. I'm not saying you go into school tomorrow or into your place of work and you just become belligerent and decide that you're not going to do anything because it's all convention. However, because there are some rules that we do need, and many of those rules that we have in society, in schools, in churches, etc., are designed so that we can live peacefully and efficiently as communities. So think about the rules that you want to challenge. I'm talking about those rules and those conventions that are actually making your soul hurt. Those rules and conventions that are actually stopping you being who you truly want to be. Those rules and conventions that are restricting you in some way and feel uncomfortable to you as an individual. I am not talking about going in and just suddenly throwing in the towel and deciding you're going to be a rebel, because rebelliousness actually is not necessarily productive in any way, shape or form, unless it's channeled and directed in a positive way and it has a purpose. So when I say convention is the mother of discontent, I am talking to those of you, well, all of you really, who have a burning desire to find out who you truly are, where you want to be, and what your contribution to this world is. Stop and think. And if you find that it's because of some I should do this missive that is actually holding you back, then you need to think about, am I complying to this because of convention? And is it hurting me? And if so, you need to then think of a way in which you can actually challenge that and step into what you're truly meant to be. Because we all deserve to feel that feeling that we are absolutely on the right path. That divine power that created you did not make any mistakes whatsoever. Trust me, we are all here for a purpose and we all have a contribution to make. And your job is to find it. So if it's convention that's holding you back and stopping you from doing so, then get used to being uncomfortable, because what they didn't tell me when I was at school and when I was young is that actually convention is the mother of my discontent. I've been Pauline Tomlin, Insightful Angel. Bye for now.